Classic anime. The early 2000s saw the resurgence of these classics with series like Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll and Akira. A small gaming company known as Bungie wanted to capitalize on this resurgence and taking heavy inspiration from Ghost in the Shell. And so Oni was born, with its name really roughly translating to ghost, from where the inspiration originated. They really wanted to bring something different to the scene, and I honestly think they did. It follows the story of Konoko, eagerly waiting to start her first mission working for the TCTF. And she is sent to a warehouse occupied by the criminal organization known as the Syndicate. An agent went undercover to expose them but hasn't reported in, so we need to find him. We cut to this mumbo jumbo.
Update.
Daodan latency holding at 27.1. Bioplasmic waveform stable.
You can't just add a sci-fi word to a car word and hope it means something.
And this will be a common theme throughout the game, but the story really isn't that deep. All you need to know is that the first old guy, called Griffin, is obviously the stereotypical big honcho who puts duty above all else. And the second old guy, known as Dr. Kerr, is the concerned father figure who will most definitely die at some point. The next character introduced is Shinatama, Konoko's robotic handler, also instructed in monitoring her progress, and modeled after a schoolgirl. Yeah, listen, if we start questioning shit already, we're not gonna get through this, so just bear with me. We get to face our first opponent, and oh, that feels great. So, hand-to-hand combat is the main drive of the game, and it's really good. There is a massive amount of different fighting moves, from basic punching combos to the unnecessarily complex crescent moon combo. The game is praised for its smooth character animation, and it ties in well with the game's strength, which is fighting, making the combat really satisfying. There is nothing quite like absolutely bashing someone's head in. I find the dead agent and get instructed to keep moving. We need to find something that can link the warehouse with the Syndicate in order to shut it down, and as I move through the warehouse I get introduced to stronger enemies. Green is the weakest of the variants, followed by blue and the strongest being red. Oh yeah, there's guns, but they're really more annoying than anything else. Shinatama then tells Konoko that she is not like other people and that health kits can affect her differently. Using one when close to full health will cover you in this glow for a time and essentially overclock you. We save the civilian and he tells me that the Syndicate took over the warehouse and is loading all the evidence onto an armored truck, and I should hurry before they get away. So I rush towards the platform and choose the simplest of solutions for stopping the truck. Get into a crane and grab the some bitch as it tries to drive off and flipping it on its side. This is gonna be wild. The evidence points to a manufacturing company not too far off, so I head straight over with a bunch of agents.
How can I be of service?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Agent Thorson.
We are with the TCTF, and we hereby order you to cease and desist all operations.
We then get introduced to the story's antagonists. The forgotten potato in the back of your cupboard looking dude is called Barabbas, and the mastermind behind it all, Teen Edgelord Murrow. We get attacked and I am reminded that enemies can actually pick up guns lying on the floor.
Wait, no.
While moving through the facility, Konoko starts to suspect that this is a trap, thinking that the evidence in the warehouse was planted, in order to keep her and the team busy there while the Syndicate is off being evil somewhere else.
This whole place, it's a trap. They planted that data pad.
Still, I should be able to find something that will make sense of it all, so I keep moving, fighting through the levels. Bitch. I eventually get the call that my suspicions were in fact correct, and that a research facility is being attacked. We need to get there as fast as possible, so the priority is to get out of the building. Shinatama then calls to let me know that I need to deactivate a cybernetic brain in charge of security in order to leave the facility, because the front door just won't do. So we head straight over. The brain conveys its displeasure through grunts while I go around the room pressing its buttons until it shuts down. The Boomer Bros then argues about Konoko's stress levels to keep you distracted from the fact that she literally just walked out of the front door. And we're off to the research facility. We meet Barabbas outside waiting for us, and the game quickly reminds me that this isn't going to be as easy as I think it is.
Let's get it on!
So cue the boss fight music. Okay then. After a couple retries, I finally beat the potato, and he flies off complaining to Muro, implying that he knows her. Yeah, the purple hair kind of really did that, thanks guys. Anyways, I start looking around to find more medkits, and the game promotes exploration. But the trade-off could mean fighting more enemies along the way. While moving inside, we also get the chance to save more civilians, and they will usually reward you with items like medkits, ammo clips, or shields that absorb weapon damage. We slowly make our way up the building, unlocking the door on the top floor and reaching the roof, but things are looking a little bit more dire than the previous level. We also get introduced to a new enemy, and he kicks the shit out of me. The only issue I have with the combat is the fact that you pretty much can't block. Like, there is literally no button to block. So you have to stand still and hope she blocks. But sometimes she just doesn't. It's very RNG. So you usually end up just watching yourself getting pounded. Can be very annoying. After that frustrating fight, he activates his detonation harness, but I am nothing if not an opportunist.
Roger that. Floor is secured.
I head towards the lobby where I have a chat with some of the other agents, but we get immediately ambushed. I slowly clear the building and all 3 floors while opening the locks on every level to open the door on the top. And this is a testament to how quickly the circumstances can rapidly shift against you. And so you are also reminded that the game only saves during certain checkpoints, not knowing exactly when this will happen. So you could lose a lot of progress, which can be a bit frustrating. Oh yeah, and guns. Guns are also frustrating. I finally start fighting my way down the facility that is in clear violation of safety regulations. Like, who authorized this massive pool of acid without even so much as a rail? And I miss Prince Puberty just as they make their escape towards the airport.
Muro, stop!
Killer, I have a plane to catch.
The airport is already on fire, so I move through trying to save as many civilians as possible. Not because I care about the chiseled jaw NPCs, but because they all carry medkits. I slowly fight my way through the flames, making my rounds on the runway and back into the terminals, until finally catching up to the Broodster.
I'm impressed. Your potential is almost as great as mine.
This is so edgy. It seems that he has his own private plane and it's getting ready to take off, so I need to push 2 buttons on opposite sides of this massive hangar for some reason. And so another glaring shortcoming of the game starts to slowly show itself. It is said that actual architects designed the levels of the game, but the issue is that architects usually don't understand good game design, and it becomes apparent when you move deeper into the game. The levels always come in a boxy room that is either a massive open and empty space, or simply a small room that you move up and down on and backtrack again and again, and you will always be pressing buttons for some or other reason. To say that things can get repetitive is a little bit of an understatement, but I mean I came here to kick ass, so if you need me to press a button to get to my next victim, then so be it. Not a scratch. Until I ran into this alley fight where I got my bum handed right back to me. I redid the part under better circumstances, only to lose all my built up medkits to these guys. But at least got a repelling rope for my troubles, just lying there for some reason. Something tells me I am really going to need this. I fought my way to the top of the hangars, not always with the best success, but finally managed to dangle my way above the plane, and I placed a tracking device on it before jumping off.
Analysis suggests that she is neurolinked to an SLD.
An android.
As the plane takes off, Muro informs the rest of the boys that he wants the pink-haired schoolgirl robot for reasons and instructs them to go retrieve it.
Showtime.
The TCTF building gets attacked and we make it inside just in time. So I start off in the parking area and slowly make my way inside the facility. I come up on this guy absolutely pile driving this poor woman into the ground, cranium first, but she survives and gives me a medkit before I move on.
We've disabled the power substations. Static defenses are down. All units converge.
I slowly fight my way up the building, and this is the first time you really face more than one enemy at a time. I try and prioritize getting one on his back before switching to another before the first one gets up, but it doesn't always work out the way you want it, and I get punched a lot. I run into another girl, so...
Two girls are fighting at McLaren's. What?
And I finally reach the top part of the facility where Shinatama is chilling.
No! Stay away! Konoko! Help! No!
Gotcha!
Another big area, and we need to find our way up the stairs. Luckily, I had some backup while I moved through the torched building. Until I came up on this guy who told me that they took a secure elevator to the top and there's no way to follow them. But he forgot something crucial. There is no spoon. I reached the area where they kidnapped Shinatama and this damn sniper just wouldn't let off. I pressed a button to open the door on the opposite side of the room, leading to a staircase that I needed to clear while moving up. Found the sniper and let go of some of that built-up frustration. When I finally reached the top, I showed this guy the quickest way down and then experienced it for myself. By the time I reached the roof, I was too late. They flew Shinatama out of there and Brotato wanted a rematch. Don't mind if I do. Okay, time out. Time out. I said relax, man. After defeating him, this happened.
Don't worry, Shinatama. I'm on my way.
And I set off after the kidnappers, despite getting direct orders not to.
This is personal.
Which is precisely why you should have nothing to do with it.
My mind is made up.
I am your commanding officer.
I don't care who you are. My friend is in trouble and I am going to help her if I can. Stay out of my way.
Finding myself in the atmospheric conversion center and doing a Batman to get in. It has massive open platforms with a deep abyss that I am definitely not going to fall into. But I start fighting my way down while Shinatama is being tortured and my guy is asking the real questions.
Why bother programming you to feel pain so intensely?
I need to deactivate the power to this power line in order to get across and run into this guy who tells me that before they locked him up, the Syndicate apparently made a lot of modifications to the facility in order to repurpose it. The plant sucks in dirty air, treats it, and then pumps it back out. I think you can see where this is going. I go Super Saiyan for a second and it gets picked up back home.
Sir, I'm picking up a power surge from processor 31B.
This is getting out of control.
I finally find Shinatama looking a bit fragile. She tells me that my real name isn't Konoko, but Mai Hasegawa, and they kidnapped her due to her connection with me.
Let me get you out of this chair.
Don't! He hurt me, Konoko. Badly. If you try to move me, I will probably die.
She monitored the growth of something called the Chrysalis that was growing inside of me, whatever the f that means. While back home, they knew that we reunited and were arguing about detonating poor Shinatama in order to kill me too.
Give her a chance.
You heard the readings, Doctor. I can't afford to let her transformation continue uncontrolled.
I have just received a coded self-destruct transmission. I can't stop the sequence, but I can slow it down. Goodbye, Konoko.
No! Goodbye, Shinatama.
Detonation in 30 seconds.
Okay, guess I have to get the fuck out of there. With Shinatama all over the place, I guess I should get the hell out of there. So I start making my way out of the facility. I get to this room where you have to time your runs while fighting robots, and I appreciate the fact that they programmed these clearly service bots with the ability to fight intruders. I fight my way up this warehouse area, and when I opened the door on the top level, TCTF agents stormed inside. I approached one of them when he instantly started attacking me, so I threw him over the side. I guess my relationship with the agency has soured a bit.
I know how to stop her.
Uh-oh. It's too late, boys. Oh, that's tough luck, bud.
Any luck?
Checking broadband.
And?
Registering high-frequency waveforms. I have her. The host survived.
No, that's it then.
You could have given her a chance.
I gave you both a chance, Doctor. That was my mistake. All units, Konoko has gone rogue. She is a Class B threat, and this is a Code Red situation.
Take her in, or take her down. Use any means necessary.
Not very nice. It's clear that there is something else going on and I will need to find answers. So I head over to the regional state building because where else? And when I arrive, a xenomorph has taken down 2 agents. And of course, that is going to get blamed on me.
Stop. Don't move a muscle.
I don't have time for this.
Stop or I'll shoot.
Your call.
I fight the security guards and apparently I'm just fighting everyone now. And I'd run into this clerk begging for his life.
Don't kill me, I'm just a clerk.
He tells me that the secure files are in the command center in the basement and I will only get access from the terminal at the top of the building. So I guess that's where I'm heading. More TCTF agents, like they were expecting me to be there, so I will have to fight my way through. I reach the top terminal and I am granted access to the basement, where I find these laser installations. If you trigger them, the guns start shooting, but honestly it's easier and faster to just run through and dodge the bullets instead. Before I can access the files, we are treated to early 2000s idea of hacking.
Here we go. Someone else is in the system. Not good. Stripping away the files I'm trying to download. How much more? Few seconds. No! Kicked offline. Somebody knew I was going to be poking around in there and sent that hacker after me.
I guess the information is gone, so I set off after whoever took it, and upstairs ran into the xenomorph with a CD. CDs. What a fragile time we lived in. He jumped out the window, so I followed him. We get introduced to a new enemy, which is just a space ninja. And we jump across rooftops trying to catch up with alien Hackerman. I painstakingly clear the rooftops, fighting every enemy I can find. Okay. And I am reminded again just how absolutely brutal this game can be. I died. A lot. By the time I reached the xenomorph and our inevitable fight, I was tired and I didn't have enough health to even stand a chance.
Why can I feel you inside me?
That's what she said.
He gives his quick monologue with absolutely no explanation as to why there is a connection between us, and we start fighting. Think Space Ninja on steroids, and I'll be fighting him with no medkits and a sliver of health left. Damn it, I tried. I really did. Again and again. Until I decided I needed to get to this point better prepared. So I started from the beginning, trying to be very conscious about my medkits, and I quickly realized the best way to do that would be to avoid fights. So I ran past most of it. By the time I reached him again, I was sitting on a healthy amount of health, shields and medkits. Round 2, bitch. Ugh.
My father's file. What am I becoming? Are we the same? No. I have nothing in common with him.
Jeez.
Nothing.
Calm down.
My father's lab.
I got the files and headed straight to my father's lab, where I took a peep into my past, and this is finally where the plot is a little bit revealed. Okay, I know this is gonna out me, yeah, but if you play Genshin Impact, isn't that Zhongli's voice?
Her sacrifice must have some meaning.
I can't find his VO anywhere, so if you know, please just tell me, like, I can't sleep. So, the world kinda went to shit. The atmospheric processes were invented and safe zones created within them. A professor known as Hasegawa fell in love with a student of his known as Jamie Kerr, who was also an activist, with the conspiracy that the government is covering something up outside of these safe zones. So they traveled there in order to find proof, and while in the preserve, she cut her leg. It got instantly infected and...
She was dying in my arms, and there was nothing I could do to save her. All I could do was ease her pain.
He realized that the world outside the atmospheric processor was indeed poisonous, and vowed to do something about the situation. Jamie's brother, Dr. Kerr, helped Konoko's father in his pursuit to solve the crisis, and now it kinda makes sense why the doctor was always trying to help her. The scene transitions into a kind of dream for some reason, but I finally get to kick Muro's ass. Well, sort of. After which, I just get absolutely butt-fucked. Bro, please. Give me a fucking break, please. I move through the dream, running into Griffin, and I would absolutely love to punch you in the face. Okay, that's just unnecessary. Next, I run into a meaner version of myself, and we inevitably start fighting.
Ward of the state, TCTF pawn, murderer.
This is weird. Waking up afterwards, and does that mean that all the backstory didn't happen? I don't know. The next logical destination would be the TCTF science prison, where my uncle is being kept. So I snuck inside and did a combat roll to get through the closing door. More laser emplacements, and I really couldn't be bothered. That really didn't work out too well, so I guess I have to do this the right way. Anyways, I was inside the building, so I started fighting my way through. I came upon this area with what looks like cryo chambers, or those tubes where they grew avatar bodies in. I think they initially wanted the story to go in a total opposite direction and were too lazy to take it out. Anyways, I ran into my uncle Dr. Kerr, and he wanted to help, but he needed his equipment. He needed me to reroute the power to his machines so they wouldn't be able to lock him out. Translation: press a bunch of buttons. I pressed the first one and set off towards his lab, fighting my way through the facility. I pressed all the buttons and found Dr. Kerr in his lab.
Hello, Uncle.
Get into the chair.
He tells me he needs to know what's going on inside me and instructs me to get in the chair while he gives me some more backstory. He says there is something called a Daodan Chrysalis growing inside of me. My father believed that the only way to save humanity would be to allow them to adapt to the harsh environment, and these chrysalis would allow them to do just that. They needed funding to progress their research, so they kinda approached the Syndicate, where they managed to grow 2 prototypes based on the genetic codes of both Mai and her brother Muro.
You gotta be kidding.
Shocker. Later, the Syndicate wanted to use these chrysalis as a weapon and raided their lab, kidnapping Hasegawa and Muro. The good doctor managed to escape with Mai and decided to head to the TCTF in order to protect her. Griffin pardoned Dr. Kerr in return for his research and then forced him to implant Mai's chrysalis as insurance if the Syndicate should ever implant theirs. Just before the reunion could conclude, a soldier inevitably shows up and does the expected.
You'll pay for that. You'll all pay.
I then went on an absolute murdering spree like it was the personal fault of everyone in that building while trying to reach some place called the Biomatter Disposal Vats, and jeez, that sounds metal as fuck. I come upon the acid vats and open one of the drain pipes. This doesn't sound like the best idea. The plan is obviously to dive into the acid and hope that the chrysalis can adapt quickly enough to keep me alive. One way to find out, I guess.
What do you think?
Dead. She has to be.
Shouldn't we check it out?
How do you suggest we do that?
Target neutralized, all clear.
Next up would obviously be the TCTF headquarters to look for Griffin.
I want some answers, and I want them now.
I'm sorry. I can't help you now. No one can.
Griffin bravely removed himself from the consequences of his own actions, but I am determined to resolve my latent daddy issues, so I set off after him. I ran into this guy who apologized profusely, saying that Griffin wanted to have something to use against me, and that he knew that she was more than just an android. I can see where this is going. I used the same method the Syndicate used to disable the security a while ago in order to get to the secure bunker. Translation: press a bunch of buttons. Or more accurately, threaten this woman to do it for me.
I refuse to deactivate this substation.
Very brave of you. I bet they'll put a medal in your casket.
Oh, fine.
until the security inside the building went down. I then had to press these buttons that would allow me access to the secure bunker, fighting my way down the building. Isn't that the guy from, like, throughout the game? You know, the guy who's been doing all the monitoring and stuff. Get wrecked, noobs. The door was finally open and I reached Griffin cowering in his bunker.
You can't escape me. You saw to that.
You're a failed experiment. Calculated risk, nothing more.
He played his trump card and oof.
All systems on and active.
It would seem that they rebuilt Shinatama, and apparently in a bit of a hurry. And she is pretty much like that cybernetic brain that I had to shut down earlier in the game. I had to go through 3 levels of security while avoiding the laser and weapon emplacements and listening to her say sorry over and over again.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
By the time I shut down the security protocol, she kinda climbed out. Why did you give her a body? And the little vest thing too, you fucking weirdos.
Gotcha.
After that, you are given the only choice in the game. You can either shoot Griffin or put the gun away and walk out.
How does this end?
He's been kind of a dick this whole game through, so...
No! It was never up to me! You did this!
I shoot Griffin in the face, and yeah, that felt pretty good. Now the only loose end left was Miro, so I set off after him in his compound in the mountains. I do the absolutely unnecessary superhero landing out of fuck knows where and start moving into the facility that looks like a damn military installation. I explored every nook and cranny, finding a good amount of medkits to take with me, and I missed at this guy gunning for the alarm panel. Luckily, that only alerted 2 guys and I was in the facility. I slowly fought my way deeper and the enemies are definitely stronger.
I wonder how strong those doors are.
The plan is obviously to slam the truck through the doors, and I guess we're over pushing buttons. Yeah, me too.
I don't see a buzzer.
Wait, did that just say...
Looks like I'll have to knock.
Huge ass trucking line. That's funny. I smash through the doors and make my way up the stairs. It would seem that they are remotely taking over these atmospheric processors. I guess thanks to the modifications that they made to the facilities. And their evil plan isn't exactly shrouded in mystery.
No, no, please, no!
Moro is obviously trying to poison the atmosphere, and only those with the chrysalis would be able to survive. If he completed the research and is able to grow them constantly, people would absolutely climb over each other trying to get one as well, while probably choking to death. I activate the platform that takes me to the roof. I guess this dish will activate the atmospheric processors, which would be a very bad thing. Wait, was I the one who just activated that thing? Oops. I finally run into the Prince of Darkness himself for his monologue.
I am very impressed with what you've been able to accomplish without drawing on the full power of your chrysalis.
After he transforms into his final form, and yeah, my final form's hair is also receding, buddy. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Join me, or die like all the others, choking on dead air and foul water.
I get the offer to join the dark side, and we start fighting. Afterwards, a little bit of time was bought, but the streets were apparently littered with death and dying. The crisis could no longer be ignored, and the Chrysalis seems to be the only saving grace for humanity. And that kinda makes you wonder, what was the point? But oh well. The game was forgotten pretty much as soon as it came out, and I think it's a shame. There is so much room for improvement for this completely unique game, and I would have loved to see where they could have taken it. I guess now we will never know, as it was permanently scrapped. And with that marks the end of Oni and this video. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.